The Israeli intelligence community just pulled off the wildest counterterrorism operation maybe ever. Israel just blew up the walkie-talkies of Hezbollah members across Lebanon, killing at least 20 people and wounding 450. And then the day before, hundreds of Hezbollah military leaders were injured when their pagers detonated. Iran's ambassador to Lebanon lost an eye. Israeli investigative reporter Ronen Bergman said the attacks were designed to underline the vulnerability of Hezbollah's entire military communications networks. Israel has not claimed responsibility, but we know. There's no secret that there's a war going on in the Middle East between Israel and Iran's proxies, which include Hamas, the Houthis, and Hezbollah. Obviously, this all escalated after October 7th, when Hamas, based in Gaza, committed unthinkable atrocities against Israel, killing over 1,000 Israelis and taking hundreds hostage. Hezbollah is a terrorist group based in Lebanon that has not only attacked Israel, but also the US. In August, a drone strike on a US military base wounded 3 American service members, leaving 1 in critical condition. Many have marveled at how precisely targeted these pager bombs were. The goal was to harm the specific terrorists and expose who they are while minimizing civilian casualties. So naturally, the left is losing its mind. AOC said this attack clearly and unequivocally violates international humanitarian law and undermines US efforts to prevent a wider conflict. Congress needs a full accounting of the attack, including an answer from the State Department as to whether any US assistance went into the development or deployment of this technology. Liar, liar, pants on fire? Too soon? First of all, AOC, all these groups are embedded with civilians. They do this on purpose. If you're in a terrorist cell, you are putting your loved ones and everyone in your direct vicinity at risk. Innocent citizens don't carry Hezbollah pagers in their pockets. Secondly, I'm sorry, does AOC think this is a tea party? This is war, and Israel is one of the most moral armies in the world by how careful it is about minimizing civilian casualties, unlike its enemies.
This is Israel's 9/11, and Israel will do everything to bring our sons and daughters back home.
I noticed AOC has never condemned Hezbollah, which has been indiscriminately firing rockets at Israel for months. A Twitter anon asked, "Is this a war crime?" Ben Shapiro responded, "No. A war crime is when Hezbollah fires 8,000 missiles at civilians, forcing the evacuation of northern Israel." You may remember that October 7th was a major Israeli intelligence failure. They completely missed the signs of an attack that morning when Hamas paratroopers started flying into a music festival in southern Israel. But the lesson now to Hezbollah is Israeli intelligence is no joke. All of their agencies have conducted some really impressive covert operations over the decades. Actually, in high school, I wrote a 30-page paper on how the Mossad, which is Israel's elite spy agency, abducted Adolf Eichmann, one of the architects of the Holocaust who evaded the Nuremberg trials. They took him from his under-the-radar home in Argentina, and then they tried him back in Israel for his crimes against the Jewish people. Safe to say he did not see it coming. Pretty epic. So how did Israel pull off this tactical feat? Well, Israel didn't intercept the pagers to make them explode. It built a fake company and manufactured the pagers themselves. The New York Times said, "By all appearances, BAC Consulting was a Hungary-based company that was under contract to produce the devices on behalf of a Taiwanese company, Gold Apollo." In fact, it was part of an Israeli front, according to 3 intelligence officers briefed on the operation. They said at least 2 other shell companies were created as well to mask the real identities of the people creating the pagers, Israeli intelligence officers. So Israel had to create electronic devices that functioned as normal while they contained explosives. Then their intelligence had to somehow infiltrate the Hezbollah supply chain to get these things into the hands of the terrorists. A Trojan horse, indeed.
From the inside, like a Trojan horse.
While Israel still fights to eliminate the enemies that want it wiped off the planet, at least it could have a moment of sweet, hilarious revenge. Israel needed to get its mojo back after the horrific tragedy of October 7th. To learn more about October 7th, how all of this started, and why invading Gaza was Israel's only reasonable course of action after the massacre, click here.